And it quite simply says, I believe in the forgiveness of sins. I do believe in the forgiveness of sins. I believe that both we have been forgiven by Christ, and because of that we have the capacity to forgive others by his Spirit. That basically is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, when I asked you just to turn around and say hello, when I was preparing, I had in mind to ask you to ask the person who you spoke to what they would like to have on their tombstone. I thought perhaps that was a bit of a heavy question to start some Sunday teaching with, so I ducked out of that one. But you might like to think about that anyway, because here is one of my favourites. This is a tombstone that's in Gibraltar, and it reads like this. Here lies the body of Captain Ernest Blomfield, accidentally shot by his orderly, 17th of May, 1792. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Oh dear. You know, my friends, in the Gospel we have an inheritance that is imperishable, that's undefiled, that's waiting in heaven for us. And that's one of the most glorious parts of the Christian Gospel. However, sadly, we don't fully often experience that on this earth, especially when it comes to one particular area, and that is our relationships with one another. Often they can cause confusion and heartache in homes, in churches, in businesses, wherever there is unforgiveness lurking in the background. Indeed, many medics and psychologists will tell you that a significant proportion of the illnesses that they treat are exacerbated by psychological factors, like bitterness, like deep resentment, like feeling unwanted, especially where close relationships are involved. And in the church, you know, there's nothing that so quickly and so effectively grieves the Holy Spirit as a failure to forgive. In Ephesians, Paul said, do not grieve the Holy Spirit. And in the next verse he goes on to say, and forgive one another as God has forgiven you in Christ. But we all know it's not that easy. Now, church magazines are not always renowned for the clarity of their communication, and you know from our church news sheet that they're very good actually at editing it. But inevitably there's the old typo that slips through. This isn't from our church magazine, but this is what was printed in the church magazine. Churchyard maintenance is becoming increasingly difficult, so it will be appreciated if parishioners will cut the grass around their own graves. And another one, another church talking about its cemetery, it said during the holiday only a skeleton staff will be available. You know, somebody once said that every person should have a fair-sized cemetery in which to bury the faults of their friends. Not bury their friends, bury the faults of their friends. And this morning I just want to ask some simple questions about forgiveness. And I thought it would be helpful to start with the Bible's picture gallery of what forgiveness is like. If you'd like to take some notes, just go to the centre of your news sheet and you'll be able to write anything you want to add there. The outline will come up on the screen. The Bible has a variety of rich pictures to describe forgiveness. For example, one of them is forgiveness is, the word is used of covering over something, like we use a dust sheet to cover over some furniture. Another one is a picture of having a debt cancelled. That's the first part of this story in Matthew. The story of the unmerciful servant starts with a multi-million-pound debt that was cancelled for that servant. An incredible act of generosity. But of course he wasn't able to be similarly generous with others. Another picture we have in the Bible is release from captivity. When Jesus said, forgive and you will be forgiven, this was the word he used. We could equally translate it release and you will be released. Actually, if you ever get into studying Greek to understand the New Testament a bit better, I recommend you do that. That's not just a throwaway line. It's this verb, to release, to loose, to let go. Because when we hold people in the prison of our unforgiveness, we're not letting them go and not letting ourselves be free. I was talking to somebody recently about a particular situation where she'd been very hurt. And she said to me, it's almost as if I've allowed him to live rent-free in my head. And I thought, what a lovely illustration. And as she sought to forgive this person, there was release. Doesn't happen overnight. And so often we can trap ourselves in our own unforgiveness until we release the people that we're cross about. And then we discover we're releasing ourselves. And then there's a fourth picture the Bible uses. Well, there are several, quite a few, but these are the four main ones. It means to cast behind your back so you can no longer see it. And I know of a 7-year-old boy, I was there at the time, who was an addict of the Tour de France. Watched every episode, every section of it on the TV. And he had been given, I think for Christmas, a Zafel flask. Now Zafel is a company that makes cycling equipment, and this flask was just an ordinary, regular little plastic flask that you put on the front of your bike. Lo and behold, as he watched the Tour de France, he noticed that one of the cyclists in the lead group had a Zafel flask on his bike. He was thrilled to bits. Look, there's a Zafel flask. When this lead group went hurtling around one particular corner, the cyclist took the Zafel flask out, took a swig of water, and then tossed it away. And the 7-year-old could not believe his eyes at the sheer profligacy. Something so precious as a Zafel flask gets tossed to one side. Of course, what to him is very precious was the cyclist, just an encumbrance. And that's the point. Forgiveness is likened in the Bible, in one of its pictures, to throwing something behind you so it's no longer a weight. And the issues that cause unforgiveness between us often appear as precious as that flask did to that little boy. We can't bring ourselves to let them go. Oh, I could never concede on that point, we might say. Or I could never forgive her for doing that. But in reality, they weigh us down. To forgive means throwing that very issue out of the reckoning as a piece of disused equipment. So let's ask the question then, whom should I forgive? Simon Peter, who triggered this parable from Jesus, said, Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? That person, the brother, could be anyone. It might be someone close to you, it might be another member of the church, or your small group, or a family, or a colleague at work. It doesn't have to be just in the sort of Christian bubble of Victoria Baptist Church. And we need to forgive. And let's recognise that forgiveness is always painful. Remember, of course, that when Jesus was being crucified, he was being crucified by people whom he dearly loved. And he said with pain and compassion, Father, forgive them. Because they don't realise what they're doing. And God may lead you into situations where it's very painful to forgive. Because the hurt has gone very deep. And my friend, just as you have to crush lavender to get its full fragrance out, so our pride needs to be crushed as we learn to forgive and to forgive. And then we will experience something of the sweetness and the fragrance of the love of Christ in our lives. And don't forget that when the Lord pinpoints something in your life that needs your forgiveness, however costly it may seem, it could be an exceedingly important moment in your churchgoers or not. So that begs the question, how often should I forgive? In verse 21, you're now reading it, Matthew says this, Then Peter came to Jesus and he asked, Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother when he sins against me? Up to 7 times? Now, I don't know about you, I expect Peter thought he was being incredibly loving and generous. After all, some Jewish rabbis taught that a man had to forgive his brother only 3 times. After that, anything goes. But just think of it. Someone you know upsets you or hurts you 7 times in a week because you don't want to forgive him. How easily we list the faults of others. Oh, yesterday it was this, or last week it was that, or last month it was something else. And then we mull over the ways that it's all gone on and that we've been hurt. Surely, says Peter, there must be some limits somewhere. And Jesus said, I tell you, not 7 times, but 70 times 7. That's 490 for those of you whose maths is on the rusty side. As one chap I was telling to, he said to me, we were talking about this, and he said to me, Ian, you wait to the 491st. Jesus' implication here is that there shouldn't be a limit on the number of times that we forgive. And that brings us to the question, why? Why should we do all this? What's the point? And the scriptures are so simple on this. I forgive and we forgive because we have been forgiven. Because God has forgiven me 1,000,000 times more than I shall ever forgive anybody else. This is Colossians, you might like to make notes of this, you're making notes. Colossians 3 verses 12 and 13. Colossians 3 verses 12 and 13, it goes like this. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, bear with each other and forgive whatever grievances you may have against one another. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. There was once a forest fire in Kansas which swept through a number of farm buildings, destroying all the animals and materials in its path. And when the fire was at last under control, the fire officer went through the farm buildings to make sure nothing was still smouldering. And as he walked through one of these buildings, he saw a hen burned to death on the ground. So with his stick, he poked the hen out of the way, and underneath the hen, there were 3 little chicks, still alive. Jesus, when he died on the cross, took the righteous judgment of God on your sin and mine. He took the heat so that we might live. My friend, is there a family here, or a group of people, or a situation over which Christ weeps because you are unwilling to forgive? Remember how much it cost God to forgive you. Even though we've hurt him hundreds, thousands, millions of times, ought we not to forgive somebody else who's hurt us only a little in comparison? Forgive, said Paul, as God in Christ has forgiven you. So what should I do if I'm aware of unforgiveness in my heart? Well, the first thing to do is to make sure that you're not holding anyone in that prison of unforgiveness. Just contrast 2 passages from the Bible, would you? In one place, Jesus said, if your brother sins against you, go and see him, go sort it out. In another place, Matthew 5, Jesus said, if you have sinned against your brother, then you need to go and put it right. Can you see the opposite way around? So if you know there's a problem, if I know there's a problem of unforgiveness, it's my place to take the initiative and go and put it right. Doesn't matter who started it. Doesn't matter whose fault it is. Don't wait for them to make the first move. Paul said, as much as it is possible in you, live at peace with all men. And in fact, he was quite urgent about it. In Ephesians chapter 4, he said, don't let the sun go down while you're still angry. Now actually, of course, we have an advantage here, don't we? Because the clocks have just gone to give us, just moved an hour, to give us an extra hour in a day. So this last week, we've had an extra hour to put things right. God's very gracious, yeah. Of course, there, the sun will go down pretty much at 6 o'clock or thereabouts in the evening because it was so much near the equator. And once it got dark, it was black. So Paul said, don't let that sun go down while there's still an issue between you. So first, make sure there's nobody in your prison of unforgiveness. And second, take some practical action. Do something. If there's someone with whom you have a wrong relationship, can I urge you in the name of the Lord Jesus to put it right? The Lord's challenged me on this many times, and it always hurts. I mean, none of us particularly likes the flavour of humble pie. It's bitter in the mouth, but good in the soul. You know, when our kids were young, gosh, that's going back a bit. When our kids were young, and they came home with a grazed knee or a scuffed elbow or something, sometimes we would get we'd clean it up with some stuff called TCP. Do you still use TCP? Yeah. Smelled amazing. But I can remember doing this and saying to them, look, I'm warning you, this is going to sting a bit, but it'll get better quicker. And it always did sting, and it always got better quicker. Healing followed. It's a bit the same as forgiving people. It will sting a bit, but healing will follow. And healing will follow as we rectify our relationships with people, deal with any grudges that we've got, possibly going back many years. When I was working at Purley, the first church I was ever in John Pastor of, I remember one breakfast time, and you know, when we do marriage prep with couples, we do a session on how to have a row without murdering one another. You know? Well, that morning, Rosie and I had a row. It hadn't got to the stage of murder because she's still here. You can tell. But we were really cross. And I went to the church office, quite honestly, to escape. And I had to, that morning, or that day, my task was to prepare Sunday's message. And I usually put between 8 and 10 hours aside to prepare a message from scratch. And that was my job for that day. And I read, and I thought, and I prayed, zilch. Eventually God got through to me and he said, Ian, you know why I'm not speaking to you this morning, don't you? Nope. Half an hour later, still nothing on the sermon front, no inspiration, no ideas. Eventually I ran home and I had to put the relationship right with Rosie. My friends, there was revival on the telephone before there was power in the church. And the sense of God's power that Sunday was almost tangible. And God will bless you and our church here more than we can imagine if we sort out attitudes and relationships where there's tension or bitterness or unforgiveness. Is there anyone you need to forgive? Anyone you're still holding in that prison of unforgiveness? Then put it right. If possible, do it today. It might mean making an appointment, it might mean sending a text or an email. It might be something really both radical and retro. Write a letter. When did you last do one of those? But do it today. Make sure that you're right with God and right with your brothers and sisters in Christ. And the moment you ask him to cleanse you, you are forgiven from sin. That is the glorious part of the gospel. It's God's grace. A businessman from the States once described grace as the best deal in the park because he gives us his grace for nothing. He's paid the price. God knows that. It's our privilege, says the New Testament, to be sure about the fact that we're in Christ. It's not arrogant. It's not arrogant to be trusting the promises of God because he means what he says. Then, secondly, I'd like to pray to help those of us who've been Christians for a while, and yet today, as I've been talking, God's touched your heart. And he's revealed an attitude or relationship that needs to be put right. And we're just going to ask him to do that. It's not rocket science. It's glorious grace. Shall we stand together so we can pray? First then, for any of us who are not sure about our relationship with God, for whatever reason, I mean, you may have been coming to church for years, but never had the confidence that God really is your Heavenly Father and that your sins are all forgiven. My friend, if you're willing to turn away from that which is wrong in your life and put him first, then make this prayer your own. Lord Jesus, I confess that I've sinned many, many, many times and I need your forgiveness. Thank you for dying for me to take away all my sin. I'm willing for you to be the Lord of my life. And now, Lord Jesus, I ask you to come into my life. Come in by your Spirit. Come in now, be with me forever. Thank you, Lord. Amen. And if you prayed that prayer sincerely, just take a moment to thank him, because I can assure you that he's actually done it. He's there. Now, if you've known the Lord Jesus maybe many years, maybe a shorter time, but you're not conscious of his power flowing through your life, is it because there's an attitude that needs to be dealt with, or a relationship where forgiveness is needed? Maybe in your family, or in the church, or at work, or in your friends, people you knock around with? Then echo this prayer. Lord Jesus, thank you that you have drawn me to yourself and that I am yours forever. I'm a child of God. But Lord, I confess that by my attitude or by my unforgiveness, your Spirit is grieved. And I bring before you now anything that you've touched in my mind and my heart this morning. Lord, give me the courage and obedience to put right anything that's wrong in my relationships, especially with my brothers and sisters in Christ. So that by your Spirit, I may know release and freedom. Lord, fill us, we pray, with your Spirit and give us